What is going on, everybody? Aaron Smith here for Forward Gettysburg. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more great Battle of Gettysburg and Civil War related videos and shorts and all kinds of goodies just for you. I love coming out here for you guys. I love coming out here, exploring the battlefield, learning about the battlefield, and sharing what I learn and what I know with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. Today, I am joining you from the McPherson's Woods. That's right, the place where a lot of action happened on the first day here at the Battle of Gettysburg. So before we get into what happened here, let's get a little bit of background. The morning, July 1st, Archer and Davis's brigade of Heath's division of the Army of Northern Virginia, they are making their way into Gettysburg. However, they are being stalled by a delaying action from the cavalry under John Buford. Of course, we all know Sam Elliott in the movie Gettysburg. I personally don't think Buford was quite as handsome, but you know, either way, he is stalling the Confederate troops as they come in. And as he's stalling them, he is sending a message off to Major General John Reynolds, who is in charge of the left wing of the Army of the Potomac. The left wing of the Army of the Potomac is going to include the 1st Corps, the 3rd Corps under Dan Sickles, and the 11th Corps under Oliver Otis Howard. Reynolds happens to be closest. Reynolds is camped right off of the Marsh Creek off the Emmitsburg Road. So Reynolds is getting his men to Gettysburg as quickly as possible. Now, obviously the cavalrymen, there's not a whole lot of them. So they're going to perform a delaying action and try to hold off these Confederates, but the Confederates are going to keep coming and coming. And eventually they're going to start to be outnumbered and they're going to start to overwhelm these cavalrymen. They're going to set up picket lines, fire off a few shots, and then retreat back. And they start to do this action about 3 miles outside of town. You can actually visit the first shot marker today right off of modern day Route 30, which would have been the Chambersburg Pike. So they're going to be delaying these Confederates, but obviously they're outnumbered. They can't hold them off forever. They need the Army of the Potomac to come. So around 10 a.m., Archer's brigade, which is going to consist of troops from Tennessee and Alabama, they're going to push down through Her Ridge or Air Ridge, however you want to call it, Ridge. They're going to start to come down from Her Ridge, and that's kind of where they are going from column into battle line there along Her Ridge. They're going to be pushing down, and they're going to cross Willoughby Run, which later on in the video we will go to Willoughby Run, and I'll show you guys some cool stuff there. They're going to be crossing Willoughby Run, and they're going to start to slowly overwhelm the cavalry pickets that are along McPherson's Ridge here. So the 1st Brigade of the Army of the Potomac to arrive from the 1st Corps is going to be Lysander Cutler's brigade. And they're going to take positions north of the Chambersburg Pike, which is going to be kind of behind the camera here. So they're going to take positions north. 3 regiments are going to take positions north. 2 regiments are going to take positions south, but they're not going to be in McPherson's Woods. Obviously, we are south of the Chambersburg Pike. And they're going to do some fighting with Davis's Mississippi Brigade there. And they're going to have a hell of a time fighting up there. They are really going to struggle in that fight. Meanwhile, Archer's brigade is pushing past Willoughby Run, and the 2nd Brigade to arrive is going to be the 1st Brigade of the 1st Division of the 1st Corps of the Army of the Potomac. That's right, the Iron Brigade. You can see I'm wearing my Iron Brigade t-shirt today just for this video. So the Iron Brigade is going to be the first ones to arrive on the scene here in McPherson's Wood, and it's going to be the 2nd Wisconsin of the Iron Brigade. That's the 1st regiment to arrive, and they're going to take positions here at McPherson's Woods, and John Reynolds himself is going to be directing the troop deployments here, and he's going to look behind him, and he's going to look for the 24th Michigan, who's going to be next in line. And as he's looking, a bullet is going to strike him in the head, and he's going to fall from his saddle. It's described as he reels from the saddle and falls from his horse. John Reynolds is going to die. His wounding spot is this monument directly behind me here. John Reynolds is going to be the highest ranking officer on either side to die during the Battle of Gettysburg. So now Major General Abner Doubleday is going to be in charge of the Army of the Potomac, of all troops on the field, until someone of higher rank arrives and relieves him. The 24th Michigan, they're going to fall in line. They're going to fall in line to the left of the 2nd Wisconsin, and then it's going to be the 19th Indiana, then the 7th Wisconsin, the 6th Wisconsin. They're going to be held in reserve. Somewhere near Seminary Ridge or so is where the 6th Wisconsin is going to be held in reserve, and they're going to have their own heroic day here later on in a different part of the field. That's outside the scope of this video. The 6th Wisconsin, the entire Iron Brigade is going to fight very valiantly here today. As the 24th takes position, they're going to immediately start to take fire. And the Confederate Army, they're going to see who's firing back upon them, and they're going to realize that it's no militia that they thought they were facing. It's no cavalry that they thought they were facing. In fact, there's this great legend in Gettysburg that a few of the soldiers say, "Those are those damn black-hatted fellas again. Tain't no militia, it's the Army of the Potomac." So now the Iron Brigade, Archer's left flank, is going to start to be pressed, and they're going to fight through these woods directly to my left. And they're going to fight, and eventually the 24th is going to be able to make it across Willoughby Run as they're driving these Confederates back, and they're going to be able to get around the flank, and they're going to be able to get in the Confederates' rear in this vice grip type of action, if you will. And the Confederates, they're just going to barely escape by the skin of their teeth. They're going to be able to retire across Willoughby Run, but not at a small cost. They're going to lose 200 men as prisoners, plus an untold many as other types of casualties during this fighting. Currently walking through McPherson's Woods here, and you can just imagine the fighting that could have occurred here. You know, it's said that the Iron Brigade came up so quickly and they were ordered into line so quickly, they had no time to even load their rifles. So they charged in with bayonets, and they drove those Tennessee and Alabamians, and they drove them through the woods. And you just have to imagine that at the time, you know, almost none of this undergrowth would have been here. This would have been a woodlot, so a lot of the cows and livestock and all that, they would have eaten away a lot of this undergrowth. So you'd have a pretty clear shot to see what's coming. But you just imagine, you know, bullets whizzing by you, the thudding of them hitting the trees, and just intense fighting in McPherson's Woods in the morning of July 1st, 1863. They're even going to take prisoner General Archer himself. And Archer's going to be taken behind the lines, and he's going to run into an old pre-war friend of his, Abner Doubleday. And Abner Doubleday, he's going to say, "Good morning, Archer. How are you? I'm glad to see you." And Archer very miserably is going to look back at him and is going to say, "Well, I'm not glad to see you by a damn sight." One of those great stories. The Union troops, the Iron Brigade with the Confederates in retreat, they're going to redress their lines. They're going to push through these woods across the creek, and they're going to take positions in the field just beyond McPherson's Woods here. And then there's going to be an afternoon pause in the fighting around noontime. Everyone, I want to apologize how abruptly the last video ended. Still working through some technical difficulties. I filmed like another 10-15 minutes of stuff and had no sound. So it's going to be a two-part video, but either way, thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Aaron Smith for Forward Gettysburg. I can't tell you how I appreciate all the support, all your likes, comments, subscriptions, all that great stuff. If you guys keep watching, I'm going to keep making videos. Like I said, I love coming out here. I love talking about this kind of stuff. So again, thank you all so much for joining me. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.